stay a while and listen.
Stream.
Anyways, we're talking about the potential of the ladders affecting Diablo 2 Resurrected, and will it be a good thing, a bad thing? You know, what are the outcomes there?
We're about to clear den.
All right,
Got one monster left.
coming right
So
now.
At least go to town.
Yeah, I'm coming. Just yeah, actually, just kill him. I'll be in town.
But yeah. So I mean, I think there's a lot of pros and cons to shortening the ladders.
Yeah, I mean,
especially hardcore versus softcore.
Yeah, I definitely think the biggest pro for no matter what, if it's 3 or 4 months, is that it's going to keep things fresh, at least for the more seasoned players. You know, not getting so stale after 5 and 6 months is going to be a big help.
Rogue's test is done.
Yeah, because I mean, currently it's 6 months. If I'm not mistaken, it's a 6-month ladder, and I mean, by the time you hit 6 months, most everybody is 99.
Yeah,
you know?
If they're not botting, at least right now.
Yeah, I mean, especially if they're botting, they're 99 in the first month.
Yeah. But I agree. Take my TP, by the way. It's right up next to Stonyfield.
Ooh, right on top of a lightning enchanted. It's a dirty TP if I ever saw one.
Oops, it's a 3, by the way.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I definitely see that being a nice positive to it. But at the same time, a negative to it, especially a 3-month ladder, would be that it's going to be hard to cater to a more casual fan base. You got new players coming in. I mean, 3 months potentially could not be enough time to really experience the full game.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
Especially if they come in and they're looking to try out hardcore or anything like that, 3 months in, and hopefully you can figure out what builds you want to make, because there are a metric crap ton.
Yeah.
I mean, and if they do come in and try hardcore, if you die, you're dead. You restart.
Yeah, that's definitely gonna be a big setback. Which that kind of leads me into, like, I'm curious to see if it's gonna affect the hardcore community at all. Especially with new coming players. Are they gonna kind of be scared to try out hardcore? Because, like you said, if you die, you get set back. You got less time to really experience the game and learn it. So they might be turned off from the idea of playing hardcore, at least in the start. At some point they could always go back, but at least in the beginning, I'm thinking that could affect a lot of new players deciding on what they're gonna play.
I think it definitely could. I mean, you're definitely going to see a lot of people playing softcore when remaster drops. Most starting people are going to play softcore. They're not going to want to play a game that they've never played before, or that they may have played just a little bit, and then risk dying and losing everything.
Yeah, no, I agree. At first, it's probably going to be a lot more softcore players. Once people get kind of warmed up to the game, they might make a transition on the 2nd or 3rd ladder, which will be nice. Nice to have some new coming players hop on the bandwagon. Oh. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of hung out for a minute to see if you could handle Rakanishu, the good old noob killer.
Yeah, I saw you hanging off in the corner. Wouldn't want you to die or anything.
Be ashamed if you got hit by a couple lightning bolts.
Yeah, they tickle. And yeah, I think we'll see some people switch to softcore for the first little while, just to test the waters. But hardcore is, I mean, it's the last difficulty, really. Like, you're gonna play through normal, nightmare, and hell.
The final challenge, essentially, right?
I mean, because once you learn the game, it's not too hard to stay alive. You know what to look out for. And, I say that, but I'm gonna end up dying to something goofy here in a minute. But it's generally pretty easy to stay alive once you know what to look for and be wary of.
Absolutely.
I'll stay and find the waypoint.
Okay. All right. we'll keep on rolling.
I mean, now with the different ladders, you got to think about how it's going to affect trading.
Oh,
Because
that's something I'm extremely curious about.
I mean, with current D2, they use D2 GSP. A lot of people use that to trade lower level items or lower value items for a small amount of forum gold, and then they save up their forum gold to buy higher level items.
Yep.
Or you just drop $10 for forum gold and then buy whatever you want anyways.
Yeah, so essentially at that point you're paying to win in the game, right? And technically PvP wise as well at that point if you really wanted to PvP. But that kind of brings me into like a big question with what is Blizzard going to do? They talk about potentially stopping the bots, but are they going to be able to stop D2JSP?
You fast, bro, but you ain't fast enough.
And if they don't, like you said, with a shorter ladder, items become far more valuable. So, of course, people are going to want to sell it and, either earn their way up to higher level, stuff or, just be able to capitalize on the fact that things are very valuable. And of course, if they don't stop botting, that's going to make that whole scenario a lot worse, especially with D2JSP.
I think with them putting the remaster at a $40 price tag, where they are reselling a game essentially to other people, because as far as I'm not sure if they're going to shut down current Diablo 2, because I'm pretty sure that's what they did with Warcraft 3 when they remastered it, is you had to have the new version.
Correct.
So if they do that with Diablo 2, I mean, they could lose a lot of their customers if they don't get rid of these bots, because they're putting a $40 price tag on a remaster.
Correct. They're trying to resell a 20-year-old game, which I'm perfectly fine with, by the way. I love the fact that they're doing that. Do not get that twisted. But yeah, so I'm hoping, that they're really going to crack down on the botting thing. I think they know that's an issue with, current D2, and that, like you said, they're going to lose out on a lot of earnings if they don't put a stop to that.
I mean, because if they don't and they put the game out, then they could see tons of refunds in that first couple months that people see bots. That could be it.
Yep. I mean, if you got shorter ladders and there's bots aren't being stopped, now you have people that are botting their asses off to turn around and capitalize on an extremely saturated market. It wouldn't be saturated because they would be getting all the loot. It would be inflated. That's the better term there. Sorry, used the wrong term. Yeah, an inflated market that they'd easily be able to capitalize on.
Waypoint is on my TP.
All right.
And I mean, it's definitely going to be interesting to see how they handle JSP, because that's going to be a big one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I don't even know that they can do anything about JSP.
It's like its own like private thing, right?
As far as I know, they don't technically do anything sketchy that I know of.
Yeah.
So I think it'd be hard for Blizzard to go after them.
Yeah, that's true. And speaking on the whole like shorter ladder, right? I mean, people spend money now as it is on on D2JSP. I mean, oh man, hold up, we're in a bad spot right now. Yeah, could you just imagine with 3 or 4 months of game time? 4 months, not so bad. I'm really leaning towards a 4-month ladder duration. To me, that sounds like a good fair median. But like if you got a 3-month duration, you're talking people being more pressured to spend more money on D2JSP, right? Because like you got the average dad that used to play the game growing up. He's 30, years old. He's got 2 kids and a wife. He doesn't have the hours and the time he used to have back in the day. which I think kind of would ruin the experience of the whole game. Oh.
I know when to leave. You'll have to excuse that.
Hello.
I'm not stupid.
Yeah, I'm completely out of gold, by the way.
Yeah, these guys are hurting.
I'm a little under leveled. I should probably go back to Stony and level up.
I'm only 5 as well. You know, something else to go along with the difference between the longer seasons versus the shorter seasons, besides the trading aspect, is you know, builds and gear. I mean, because you've got high runes in the game to make like Enigma, which requires Jaw and Burr. The odds of you finding one of those in a 6-month season, if you're not botting, I mean, we're assuming you're not cheating, no map hack, no botting, nothing like that.
Correct.
You know, if you're not cheating, the odds of you finding that is pretty slim. Like, if you're honestly getting on every day and no lifing and farming it, trying to find it, you'll probably find one.
Yeah, eventually.
Chances of you finding 2
Or
in
both.
a 6-month season, both of them, without trading for one of them.
That's possible. It's definitely possible. People do it, but typically, you know, people trade for that second rune, right? They find the first one, they typically trade for the second one or something like that. So yeah, it definitely makes me wonder.
It makes you wonder if it's going to change the meta. I mean, because you currently have a meta where the Hammerden is top tier, but if you can't find an Enigma in your 3-month season, are people going to build Hammerdens that much?
Yeah. So I mean, the only counter to a, you know, shorter season and having that con would be to potentially slightly, and I mean slightly when I say this, Blizzard, if you ever watch this, slightly increase the drop chances of those high runes, right? Because again, we want to keep them rare. We want that feeling of like,
Oh, I'm so happy! I'm so happy! This is the best day of my life!
you sitting there farming day in and day out. You know, it's a good feeling when you find something like that. But if you're finding them like candy, that feeling goes away.
Nope. And then it doesn't mean as much.
Exactly.
So I mean, if they were going to, I think we should be good to go back down now.
Yeah, I'm about to just get some gold from this guy. That's all I want.
Pick up whatever he's dropping and just sell it.
All I want is gold.
Yoink.
1,000 gold?
Please, sir.
Please, sir. A little more in my cup.
Please, sir. I want some more.
We've talked about, you know, the effects on trading. You know, along with a shorter period of time to find high runes, you know, you've got a shorter period of time to find gear in general.
Incomplete builds, which would, you know, kind of actually discourage people from making alternate characters, right? You might feel more pressure to stick to one character per season, which, you know, for some people might be a bad thing. If they're not able to really experiment, like say, you know, you make an assassin or something and you find a Jalaz helm, like, I don't know about you, but I'm making a druid tonight.
Right. Yeah.
So, you know, that's definitely, I think, a con. You know, but when we talk shorter ladders, I think that con mostly pertains to like 3-month ladder, right? I think just, you know, the more we talk about everything, it really seems like just 3 months is a little too short. And I feel like 4 months is kind of like a perfect median. What do you think, Kline?
I think it's tough.
What's your opinion on that?
6 months is definitely too long.
Mm-hmm.
I think 4 months would be a better idea. But do you think Blizzard's going to do 4 months, or are they going to do 3 months?
Well, I mean,
with 3 months, I think they can keep it a lot fresher.
Well, Potentially, yeah. But I mean, what do you mean by fresh though? Like, them changing things or
Well, I
just
mean, they.
consistently resetting ladders?
Well, that. I'm pretty sure they've mentioned the possibility of doing different things for different ladders.
Yeah.
Different little events. Like I know in Diablo 3, they've done events where you have double magic find or things like that. There's no telling what they might have planned if the remaster blows up as much as everyone's expecting.
Yeah. Dude, that'd be amazing. But yeah, so as far as like the whole ladder thing with D2 and 6 and 4 months, you know, like you say that 3 months could keep it, you know, extra fresh. And I do agree with that. And, you know, like with 4 months, I feel like there is the potential for it to kind of die off in that 4th month, right? Which would suck for some. But I think with a 4-month plan, that would kind of cater to like the vast majority of players, right? A little better. Now for us hardcore players, people that like once the game comes out, you know, we're gonna be sitting in this chair for 48 hours,
Not moving.
not moving, you know, doing the whole South Park poop in a bucket kind of thing. You know, for us, I think 3 months would suit us a lot better, you know. But I mean, either way, you know, with a 3 or 4 month ladder, I definitely think it's going to actually increase the value of items. You know, things are going to become a lot more valuable because, well, they're harder to get. You don't have as much time to get them, right? And people want to pressure to finish their build, which I think, in my opinion, it could actually be a good and bad thing, right? Because it sucks because it's like harder to get if it's something you're looking for, but at the same time, if you find something you don't necessarily need, right, it's now more valuable. Correct. And it's now more valuable, which could actually help you in return get the items you're looking for a little easier. So I think that's more of a double-edged sword with that.
You know what's interesting is that you mentioned it being not so much catering to casual people, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think it actually could, because with a 3-month ladder, you're going to have all your hardcore people that hit it the first few ladders, maybe the first 2. You know, you're going to see a lot of streamers, a lot of YouTubers who haven't played the game come over and give it a shot. But they're going to move on pretty quickly to the next big thing.
Yeah.
What happens? And that's going to open the doorway for a lot of the casual players, since it resets every 3 months,
to hop in at any time,
more often.
Yeah, to hop in.
Play.
Yep. And if the first ladder doesn't go well for them, the next ladder comes around, and now it's like, okay, I'm gonna give this another shot, you know. So yeah, I definitely see your point there, where, you know, a 3-month could actually cater to a pretty casual player base as well. Which brings me to question: what is the current season rate for Diablo 3? Is it 3 or 4 months?
I'm not sure on that one. I don't keep up with D3.
I'm gonna look real quick.
Well, you know, as far as the shorter versus longer, you know, bots. Like, I know we've mentioned bots previously, but bots could be more prevalent if it's a 3-month, because people are going to want to farm just that much more, and they may be more willing to download a bot.
Yeah. Well, you know, my honest opinion with bots is the fact that they're still an issue 20 years later leads me to believe that no matter how long or how short a season or ladder is going to be, they're like, if they can bot, they're going to do it. And, you know, whether it be 4 months or 3 months, I think it's going to become a bigger problem if they're allowed to still be able to bot, right? Because either way, you know, it's well, first of all, it's Diablo 2 Resurrected. I mean, that's one reason to fucking play and bot. But, you know, like we've previously discussed, you know, things are harder to get. The value of items are higher. So there's a bigger demand for said items. And if, well, I can just willingly free willy go and bot my butt off. You know, why wouldn't I?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't I? And
And
especially if D2JSP is still a thing, because then you're just like, okay, higher demand, higher value. I capitalize on this. I bought all day, every day, and then I sell all this stuff to a bunch of people that don't have enough time to play. Now I've just made a bunch of forum gold, and if I'm not mistaken, you can actually somehow, some way, turn that into real money. All right, I could
I'm
be
sure
wrong
there's
about
a
that.
way to convert it back.
Yeah, so you know, I mean, I don't know, man. It could definitely be a bad thing.
We're down in Trist. I dropped a TP.
Yeah, I was getting everything I needed. So I mean, I'm really hoping that they put a stop to bots, because you know, if they don't, like, I feel like it's just
It
gonna
could
be
be
a bigger
game-breaking.
issue. Yeah, like literally game breaking. Especially. Well, no, now that I think about it, I mean, JSP is an internet browser. It doesn't matter what console you're on. You could be console or PC, you know, and
JSP
still
can
use it.
easily be something that's used on console. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. Yep. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, with that, you know, if they, I almost feel like if they put a stop to botting, JSP would be okay. Because, like you said, you know, you get a couple of low-value items, you trade them off, you get a little bit of forum gold, you've earned your way to that higher valued item, right? Like, you're still earning that item. You're not like buying it. I mean, I guess you could, technically speaking. But you know, if we're going in that manner, right, where you earned it, right, it's still the same concept to finding it in a way. Is it the same feeling? Probably not, but I mean, I think JSP would be a little bit more acceptable at that point.
Let's see. You know what? I think they might do before they make JSP fine.
I need mana.
Sorry, I can't tank all those guys.
Ow, ow, they hurt.
My teeth.
They hurt. Nice. What were you
There
saying?
you go. Get him, Paladin. What I could see them doing, and I don't know if I'd be opposed to it or not, would be for them to put an in-game shop in that doesn't use gold, but uses some other currency that you could trade your items on.
An in-game auction house. I mean, that would completely stop D2JSP.
JSP would be gone, and then that would give them more of an ability to watch for bots. Because if they see some guy post up 6 jaw runes, they'd be like, no.
Oh my god, dude, you're so fucking smart, dude. That's brilliant. Because yeah, you're right. Not only could you put a stop to D2JSP, you could also monitor botting a lot easier, right? So, but like you said, if you find in 6 jaw runes or 8 burr runes, no, you didn't find those. He posting up, you know, 5 V Magi's and, you know, 2 or 3 of them are perfect. You probably didn't.
They're gonna look into it.
Exactly, you know. Maybe flag that player and put an eye on them, and if they consistently post stuff like that, you know, take action from that point further. What's
Honestly,
up, Antoine?
I think if you're found botting,
Mhm.
how's it going, Antoine? Welcome to the stream. I know you're not on my stream, but you're on his stream, so you know, it's like a duo stream type of deal. I think if you're found botting, it's just instantly like gone.
Oh,
account.
I agree.
Like, as long as it's for sure, not just that you were joining games too fast or anything like that, where they give you the realm down in current D2. But if you are legitimately found to be botting, gone your account.
I 100% agree with that. You know, that would also help, like, with the fact that the game is actually buy to play. You know, a big problem with these free-to-play games is that if someone gets caught cheating, they just make a new account. You know, so that would actually discourage them a little bit from making or from cheating in general, because they would have to constantly buy, you know, a new CD key. So yeah, that's actually a good point there. You know,
$40 adds up over time.
You know, knowing our luck, right? Blizzard's gonna see this video, they're gonna hear this idea, and they're gonna be like, you know what? Do it. But the new currency that KlineOnline mentioned, you're also gonna be able to buy it with your wallet.
Yep. No.
Oh,
don't you guys
man.
have phones?
Do you guys not have phones?
Yeah, you guys all have phones, right?
Make it a pay-to-win
so-
phone game.
Yep, so that would kind of ruin the experience there. I guess homie's not gonna TP tower. All right, so we've talked about the potential of game trading coming back. We discussed the value of items and D2JSP. We've discussed that the fact that the ladder will become a lot more exciting. We didn't also mention something I think with the ladder is that it'll become more competitive. Because especially with hardcore, right? So like with hardcore, obviously if you die, you got to start all over, right? So it's going to make it a little bit more competitive in the fact that you got less time to make up for your mistakes. Softcore, I can see it becoming more competitive as well. But then again, once you hit 99, the race is kind of over. And I feel
you don't have to worry about dying or anything. So
correct. But I can definitely see people pushing really, really hard and being very competitive with the initial launch of a ladder, right? For softcore too. So I can definitely see that it's gonna just push everyone to be a little bit more competitive, which is gonna be awesome and exciting, which will again make the game, more exciting and fresh. So yeah, after discussing a lot of this, three months isn't sounding so bad, KlineOnline. So you kind of are changing my mind a little bit here.
I think either way, it's definitely gonna be interesting
Yeah.
because you're gonna have some people that like it, some people that don't. Nothing Blizzard does is gonna make everybody happy.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, I agree.
Unfortunately, that's just how gamers are nowadays. You make half of the group happy, and then the other half is pissed off.
Yeah, I agree. And then what else? I mean, I think that's pretty much everything that we've covered that I can think of. I know there's like one other thing that would be kind of small, and I think this would be a pro no matter how long the ladder is going to be, whether it be 3 or 4 months long, but like rushing in general, like people that make sources and stuff, early ladder, they're going to be able to capitalize on rushing and honestly, I think make a profit off of that. And in like rushing in general will become more profitable, especially in hardcore, with when people are dying, they're pressured because they have less time with the general ladder. They might be willing to pay a little bit more for that rush. And then I'm not speaking money, guys. Usually, it's like the in-game forge or some shit like that. But it might be like the forge and something a little extra, a little bit of a happy ending.
If Blizzard were to put in the auction house that we mentioned,
Ooh,
could be whatever that currency is.
Correct. Yep, and that could be a way that people could make currency in game as well, other than selling items, is rushing players, which that would be awesome. Yeah, I mean, I think if they did an in-game system, like you mentioned, like an in-game auction house with its own currency, but did not make it to where you could be able to buy it, right, with your own wallet, I think that would stop. Well, it would slow down botting, and it would completely stop D2JSP, right? Because it's like, hey, why would I want to spend money to get forum gold or whatever when I can just fucking earn it with this end-game currency?
I can just go ahead and go rush somebody for 10 whatever.
Mm-hmm.
What's that?
Oh, I gotta get out of this.
Go from there.
Steal quest. But yeah, honestly, dude, that's a really good point that you brought up with that. I think that would fix a lot of issues or potential issues